you have the control to completely change and take control back into your life to make the changes to progress. There is still time, no matter where you are in your life. And this is the whole point of why we created this. We wanted to make sure that no matter where you were in your life, that it was never too late. We almost feel like it's never enough what we're doing, or sometimes is this the end, or I feel like no matter what I do, it's always a failure. Yeah. That's fine. That's a part of life. And just like those that are successful, they didn't get successful by doing everything right. In fact, the way that you know that you're doing things right is by comparing to the failures that you've had to overcome in order to get to that right position.
What's up, everybody?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of
Coffee Breakup.
That is us. Thank you for joining in, ladies and gentlemen. Today we wanted to talk about basically we've been doing this for 3 years, and there's a lot of topics and a lot of questions that we've gotten over that time span, and we've noticed that there's almost a need for this episode. Really. There's been a lot of people who are looking for relationships, or they're trying to figure out, hey, who am I? And this is why we kind of came together to kind of create this, especially for you.
Yeah, man, I think it could be very confusing for a lot of people. Like, you're going through life, you're figuring things out, and everybody's so focused on trying to find somebody else to do life with. And I think that's important, creating healthy relationships. But the most healthy relationship that you have in your life is the one that you have with yourself. And no one really talks about that. Kind of people just kind of expect you to kind of figure things out. But as we know, for the past 3 years, we've spoken to hundreds of people. It's not always as simple as that. And so I think recording this today is very important, because we want to help people become better individuals for themselves, because that's where it starts. It starts with you. And then later on, you can build the relationship with other people. Yeah,
absolutely. I think that a lot of us, we almost feel like, we're single because whatever is out there is garbage. It hasn't worked out for us. And So what do we do in the meantime? Is it, do you just keep on dating and getting out there and seeing what's there? Or it's a numbers game. The more people that you meet, eventually you'll find the right person. And although that is true, but there is a small little, I think, detail that's being overlooked. And to your point, you had said a little bit earlier, it's what's the common denominator when it comes to all these people that we feel like we're not dating, it's not working. Every single time I date someone, they suck, all men are garbage, or all these girls, they're terrible out there, you can't trust anybody. And again, there's a common denominator there, and it's who is dating all these people. Yeah. And it's you're the one that's putting yourself in those positions to be dating these people. So what are we doing wrong? Is it us, or is it really what's out there? And I think that's kind of the point of this. So if you're kind of in that situation where you're either single or you're currently in a relationship and you're unsure if this is really is there any longevity in this relationship? I feel like this is the whole point of why we created this, and why we wanted to give back to you guys, to kind of give you at least the blueprint, a foundation of where to begin. And just like we said, it's starting from within. It really is. Every healthy relationship does start with yourself. And we're going to go into a little bit to really discuss, a little bit of some key points that we put together in order to kind of help you find yourself again.
Yeah, for sure. And I always thought, when people always ask me, like, how can I find a good person? And it's like, don't worry about finding the right person. Worry about becoming the right person that people want to be with, right? But it really is about yourself. And when you go through life trying to win people over and trying to have people fall in love with you, I think that's the issue. I think you have to really focus on yourself. Take the time to learn of who are you, what do you want to do in life, who do you want to become, your goals, your aspirations, your dreams, what makes you you. Because we've talked about this in the past. Life is too short to go around life trying to please other people, trying to be loved by other people when you don't even love yourself. And what are your own goals? What are your own aspirations? I think that's so important, especially when it comes to relationships, especially when it comes to your own relationship.
Absolutely. And I think that the older that we get, we're 30 years old right now. And whether you're 20, whether you're 40, it's really never too late. Everyone has their own story. And I feel like we always get tied into comparing ourselves to others. Yeah. And when we see other people in healthy relationships, we see other people that already have children, that they're married, that they're happy, they're good in their jobs, they're making good money. That was their path. That was their story. Yeah. And just like they have all those successes, there's also the other side of the coin of other people who are homeless. They can't find anyone. They're going through troubles at home. Maybe they lost a family member. They're really feeling like they're in rock bottom. And I want those people that almost that they compare themselves to the people that are already ahead and that they're better and that they almost feel like they're more successful. There is other people that are in worse situations than you.
Yeah.
And you have the control to completely change and take control back into your life to make the changes to, to progress. There is still time, no matter where you are in your life. And this is the whole point of why we created this. We wanted to make sure that no matter where you were in your life, that it was never too late. We almost feel like it's never enough what we're doing, or sometimes is this the end, or I feel like no matter what I do, it's always a failure. Yeah. That's fine. That's a part of life. And just like those that are successful, they didn't get successful by doing everything right. In fact, the way that you know that you're doing things right is by comparing to the failures that you've had to overcome in order to get to that right position. So it's all a game of every single day, small little micro details and choices that you make in order that over time, they start to build into the success that you see out there. But it does take these little moments in your life for you to take control and make the decisions to get there.
Yeah, and I'm also thinking, because you touched up on some great things, our age. Obviously, we're a little bit older, we're a little bit wiser, and I'm very proud, and I can't speak for yourself, but I think you would like to agree that I'm very proud of who I have become as an individual, as a person, the relationship that I am in now. It's the healthiest relationship I've ever been in. So when I think about a lot of these things, I just can't help but compare my own situation, my own life, my own personal experiences. And I'm like, dude, I'm in such a good position where me personally, obviously we have goals and aspirations that we want to hit. But if I sit back and look at where I am now in life, dude, I'm proud. I'm proud of the man that I am, the boyfriend, the partner, individual, going through life, man, and the experiences that we've created and we've had. You can't help but sit back and say, oh, I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful for the person I am today. I think a lot of our audience also, some of them are a little bit younger maybe. Mm-hmm. And so, and we've talked about it too, when you're young, you feel like this is all you see, right? This is all the experiences that you have.
Yeah.
Because
it's always going to be like this.
But then as you get older, life expands a lot.
There's still more time. So to my point, you almost feel like, did I run out of time? Is this going to be my life forever? And it's like, life does go on. And if we choose to live the rest of our lives with just the experiences that we've gone through, we're never going to adapt. We're never going to be open-minded. We're never going to learn and grow, because we're just going to be kind of creating this box of, well, if this is everything I've been through, this is all that I'm ever going to experience. Yeah. And it's not. You have full control and all the time in the world, and the power of choice to really change, not to say change your history, but you can literally make the choice of changing the present and your future by the actions that you take, not being kind of restricted by everything that's happened to you before. Yeah. And I feel like that's the beauty of life, but it takes time being patient and also understanding that life will go on, and we're in control of what really is going to come from us from that life.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm just thinking now, like obviously you know Gary Vee, and some people make fun of him. He's a very passionate guy, that, and then people usually ask him like, hey, I'm 40, I'm 50, I'm 60, like I feel like I'm running out of time. And he, joking, he's very serious about it, but he's like, oh, you still have time, you to change your life. You could be 50, 60, 70, it doesn't matter. And some people they laugh at it, but it's really true that you can have control of your life. You can wake up tomorrow and change the course of your entire life.
Absolutely.
So. And it's funny, I've talked to people who are a lot older than me, and some of they're saying a lot, their best years started when they're 40 years old, 50 years old. So don't be discouraged by, oh, I'm running out of time. I think that's a big part as well. People feel like, when I'm 30, I'm supposed to be having this life. I'm 25, I'm supposed to be with kids and a family, et cetera, et cetera. Life never essentially works out maybe the way you thought it would, but there's always time to do more and to adjust if you're not happy. You just have to take the courage, take that leap of faith.
Absolutely. And then, so it's funny. So we created a small little PDF, basically kind of detailing, the little important key points, I would say, of every individual, and starting with a really foundational piece of where every healthy relation does start with yourself. And I think it's important to really understand that, just like you were talking about, like, you make the choice, your self-perception, like, that's how others will see you. It all starts with what you think of yourself. And now we can almost have like imposter syndrome, where we almost want to speak as if we are somebody that we're not. And that's not what we're trying to tell you to do. What we want you to understand is to really know what your strengths are, right? And acknowledge your weaknesses. We can't pretend like they're not there. We have to be almost accepting and understanding that they exist. And just like you have some weaknesses, so does everybody else. We shouldn't really feel like, oh my God, like this is it defines me of this weakness.
Yep.
It's like, no, like everybody has them, but we also have the choice of trying to be better. But again, it's all self-perception of how you view yourself. And again, the choices that you can make to self-improve every single day. But having that open-mindedness of saying, hey, just like we were saying, I'm not going to be defined by my past. I'm not going to be defined by my flaws, but I'm also not going to be defined by my strengths, because I am a combination of all of them.
Yeah.
You know, and based on the history that I have, again, I can make the choices to be a better individual with what I do have and really enjoy everything that life has to give me based on the individual that I know who I can become.
Yeah, and I think the big part also is that, you know, you said choices, and the choice doesn't even have to be a huge decision. It could start off with something very small. Today I wake up 30 minutes early and go to the gym, or an hour, or, you know, small accomplishments are still big achievements. And a lot of times people feel like I have to do this grandiose thing and I have to accomplish this right now. And it's like baby steps, one step at a time. And in order, those add up to become the big picture. And later on you realize, man, like this is a step that I need to take in order to achieve that big goal that I've wanted to achieve.
Yeah,
it starts with a small step.
There was a viral video of it was a military man. I forgot. I don't know if he was in the Navy, Air Force. I had forgotten. We actually talked a little bit more about the little I guess surprise that we have. But in there, I did mention how he talks about if you want to be successful, start by making your bed in the morning.
Yeah, I remember.
And in that video, they start laughing. But if you think about it, that's one task that you already achieved, that you already accomplished. And you could say, well, who doesn't make their bed in the morning? You'd be surprised, you know, but if you do make it, that's one choice that you made to be better today that other people didn't. Yeah. And I'll use myself as an example because, you know, we both exercise in the same place and you know, Zoom, we'll give you a shout out. We love the gym in Doral. Make sure you check them out. And, I used to go in the afternoon and I felt like, you know, after work, it really tied me up. Like it really took away so much of my own time and my freedom, where I almost felt like constricted, and I almost felt, well, this is my life. Like I'm being controlled by not only work, but then having to go to the gym and being stuck in traffic every day.
Commute.
Exactly. So then for me, I started training in the morning. Yep. As soon as I woke up, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to negotiate with myself. I'm not going to give myself any excuses. If I need to exercise, well, because I want to live a healthy life, I want to make these changes. And I know overall with fitness, you know, and muscle is what's going to give me longevity. When I'm 30, when I'm 40, 50, 60, if I can preserve as much muscle, I know that I'm going to be an overall healthier, happier individual, especially when you have children, life gets in the way, any other diseases or illnesses. If you have the greatest, most powerful vessel by exercising every day, I know in the future I'm just going to be able to function better. I'm going to live a more fulfilled life in the long run. So what choices do I have? Well, I wake up in the morning and the first thing I do is I go to the gym, right? I get it out of the way. So while people are still sleeping, I already exercised. I already got my work in. I'm about to go into work to actually do my profession. And while other people are about to get out of bed and just either smoke a cigarette, just drink a coffee and go straight to work with nothing in their system, I already got my exercise in. I made that choice because I know that it's going to make me feel better doing that. And I encourage everyone else to do the same, whatever that may be. I recommend everybody to exercise, number one. If you can exercise in the morning, it ain't easy, it ain't fun, but you do that, it really does set your day up for everything else. And everybody says it, like, oh, then you feel better throughout the day. You kind of don't. You're just kind of tired the rest of the day. But knowing that you got out of the day, it's almost it's a sense of accomplishment that there was a task that was finished. And I didn't do anything great. I didn't do anything, just like you said, like grandiose, where I changed the world. But it's one small little detail that for me, it made sense. It may not make sense for you, but for you, it might just be making your bed in the morning. It may just be one small change that you say, wow, I just made my bed. I did one task today. How many more tasks can I accomplish? It could be just making breakfast, because you always say, oh, I'm gonna skip breakfast today. Maybe it's actually just making a quick meal in the morning. Or maybe when you go to work, it could be, you know what? I need to make calls. And I never like making calls because people are assholes. When they answer, they want to, dude, if you just pick up the phone and just do your job, you do your calls, by the end of it, you're like, you know what? I didn't want to do these, but I did them. I did something that I didn't want to do, but I overcame that choice. And those little successes is how you start creating more down the line. And again, it can mean anything. It's specifically for whatever those challenges are for you to accomplish, but those set you up for greater accomplishments moving forward.
Well said. Yeah. And it's, you said even like, like you might that decision you're doing, the change you're doing, might not change the world, but it affects your life in a drastic way. Where now all of a sudden you have time to do other things in the afternoon. A small decision, but later on has a ripple effect on your entire life, and that's so important to kind of put these things into perspective.
Absolutely, and another key point that we had discussed in the free PDF that we have, it's success isn't really, you can't compare yourself to other people.
Yeah.
So it's literally what I had just said. It's, you can't say, well, this guy, Chris goes to the gym in the morning, so he must be better than me. It's like, dude, for me, that's my level, and that's my it's almost an agreement that I have with myself, because if I don't go to the gym, I feel like shit. I feel like I'm letting myself down. Yeah. I feel like, man, there's no excuse of why I missed the gym. So for me, when I do go to the gym, it's almost like, man, I accomplished something that I felt like was such a struggle, and I did it. Whatever that is for you, that's what you should be doing. But you shouldn't be comparing yourself to other people, because if they have these great successes, you're almost going to feel like, man, no matter what I do, it's never going to be enough.
Yeah. Sorry about that. What I was thinking is, when I sometimes it's hard to not compare yourself to other people, especially now. Like, even for us, like, we're in our 30s. I have some friends that are doing a lot better than me, right? They're in their careers. They're happy. Well, I believe they're happy, but you never know anybody else's life. But from the outside, you see other people, they appear to be ahead of you in life, and you feel like, man, like, when is my turn? Like, I have these things, these dreams, these ambitions, these goals, but I'm not there where I want to be. So sometimes it could be a little hard, especially when you see other people advancing, peers of yours, and you just have to understand that everybody has their own path. Everybody has their own journey. They might peak at, or not peak, but they might excel at 28, and your time might be at 38. Not saying it has to be that way, but everybody is on their own journey. And you just have to be patient enough and be understanding and be kind and be applauding other people when they're ahead of you, and knowing that as long as you keep working hard, you'll get there too. It's just, this might not be your time yet. And I know it could be discouraging for a lot of people. You just got to keep going.
Absolutely, and again, something that we touched up on is having self-love to yourself, and being kind to yourself. Because I understand sometimes we don't want to do something, or we almost feel like, oh my God, like I think I said a little while ago, it's never enough, or we almost have these insecurities about ourselves where we feel like, oh, we shouldn't be, or what are people going to think about me if I try to do something? Or, for example, like, think of people who want to start maybe their own podcast. We have our own podcast, and we get people that reach out to us asking us all the time, but I don't know what to talk about. What are people going to say about me? Or it's embarrassing. What if I do that? Dude, it doesn't matter. Like, for you, just having the idea is one step ahead of those who never even thought about it, or they were insecure and they didn't feel like it. You recording your first video and posting it, or your first podcast and posting it, you're a step ahead of other people. You can't really worry about the negative opinions of others when it makes you happy. If this is your dream to kind of go out and do something, don't worry about what other people are going to be telling you. You should be proud that you're doing it yourself. And like I said, this is your own self-accomplishment because you chose to take action. And another thing that we have to think about also, everyone was a student at one point. Because when we first posted the first podcast, it was almost like, well, we're just going to send it out into the void, but at least we took action. And look at us, 3 years down the line, 3.5 years down the line. Yeah. We're still going strong. We've grown a pretty strong following. We have these new projects. People are reaching out to us for not only help and assistance and guidance, but they're also giving us feedback saying, hey guys, like, I've been following you guys for so long. You don't know the impact that you guys have had in my life because of what you guys talk about. And that all started because we had an idea and we took action. You have full control and all the power in the world to have the same effect on others in whatever it is that your passion is. You can do the same, but you can't allow other people's negative opinions slow you down when this is what you truly want to do and this is who you truly want to become.
Yeah, and when you're speaking of insecurities, I can't help but associate a lot of the insecurities with that you have with yourself drip down into relationships that you have with other people, and they could be a culprit for so many of the issues. And even for me personally, and you know this better than anybody else, I've struggled with a lot of insecurities throughout my years and throughout my past relationships. And now looking back, I'm in a so much better place now, but I feel like it never was about the other person. It was all about myself.
Yeah, it was never the feedback you got around you or other people's opinions. Yeah. It was always what you thought the opinions of those were going to be. But it was always you.
The opinions of others, whether that it was friends, whether that is peers, whether that is partners,
people you honestly care about to a certain degree. But there's also the other people who worry about people that they don't even know.
Yeah.
And then they get insecure because what are those strangers going to think about me?
100%. And at the end of the day, it is all comes back to yourself. And it's funny enough because we had somebody reach out. I think his name was Matt, and he had some problems with his relationship, insecurities, very, very, very insecure guy. And I kind of gave him some of my experiences and some of my feedback. And he had reached out later. Now he's in a super healthy relationship, still with the same person, and they're doing so much better. And it just kind of goes to show you by the impact that we make of people, and giving them honest feedback, giving them honest experiences, and saying, hey, I was there once too. This is what you can do to overcome these things for yourself, for your partner, for you, and essentially. And so if you don't keep those insecurities in check, and everybody has insecurities to a certain degree, but if you don't take care of them, they'll grow. They'll grow, and they'll sabotage yourself, your relationships, the people you care about, and ultimately lead to a unhappy life, you know?
Absolutely. And we started off this segment basically talking about how difficult it could be to find the right partner for us, or just kind of going out there to dating. Nothing seems like it's working. I guess I'm going to be single forever, but it's not the case, because literally what we're talking about right now is for you to be that individual that you're really looking for. We're always looking for the right partner when we always say you're the one that needs to become the right partner. And so how do we do that? And that's exactly why we created this PDF, to kind of give you those little key points of what it is that I need to be reminding myself on. What are these little, these things that I never really thought about, or maybe just shit that we need to hear and we don't know where we're going to get it from because we're living this life kind of just going and figuring it out. We created this PDF in order for you to have a blueprint of what are the foundational, the core focuses that we need to have in our lives in order to be that better individual. Yeah. If you're more secure with yourself, if you're more confident with yourself, you're going to be attracting the right people in your life, not the problem child, I would say. We always look for people to hold on to, especially when we have a lot of attachment issues. There's a lot of self-insecurities that we've created based on our past, on our upbringing. We created this in order for you to overcome those, to be literally the person that you're destined to become. You have so much potential as an individual, and the sky is literally, it's limitless. You have so much potential that you have to go after it, and that's why we created this, because again, we knew that there was a kind of an issue out there of everyone kind of looking for what's the right partner, what's the right thing that I need to be doing. What you're doing right now is the right thing. Just make sure that you're constantly making choices to always do the right thing and to be the better individual.
Yeah, man, it's so important, and I'm so happy that we're doing this segment, because we usually bring on a lot of guests and we have great conversations, but a lot of times these discussions are really important as well, and they a lot of times don't find themselves into the episodes because we're talking about other things which are great as well. But having this one-on-one where we kind of go back and share their experiences and the knowledge that we've gained over the past 3.5 years, I think is very important for a lot of people, and it just kind of goes to show you, like, that's what life is all about. It's about becoming better. And you see a lot of noise on social media, and other podcasts, other things, and it's like a lot of it is just kind of BS, because you don't have to pull other people down in order to elevate yourself. You can be a good person without having to make other people feel inferior. And I think that's what's also important. Becoming better without having to push other people down. It's so important.
Absolutely. And kind of to wrap it up, because again, we're kind of going off of the keys that we created, this PDF, and it's in life we want to be comfortable, because I feel like that's what's safe for us. It's what we know, and it's what we're used to. And in order for us to really reach our potential of what it is that we're destined to become, is we have to get out of our comfort zones. In fact, in the studio, we have a sign here that as soon as any guest comes in here, it says, great things never come from comfort zones. And it's because, again, you are destined to be someone who you currently are not right now. And it could be that you're stuck somewhere where you feel like you're helpless. You have every control, every possible power that's inside of you. You have the choice to do that. Get out of your comfort zone, and then you'll see by leaving that's what's going to promote the self-confidence that you have. And just like we said a little while ago, the little accomplishments that you have, the little tasks that you do for yourself, it kind of builds you up to say, man, if I was able to do this, what else can I do? And then slowly you start doing things that you probably thought you never would have done in your life, or maybe things that you only dreamt of doing. And that's what's going to help you become that more secure person, that confident person, in order for you to tackle anything that gets put in front of you.
For sure. So, I mean, obviously we went just over 20 minutes, but kind of a little bit of a short synopsis of the keys that we have for people to be able to kind of go over them and read over them and hopefully kind of trigger certain things in their life. And we're like, well, I need to make a difference. I need to make an impact. I need to change the way, the direction my life is going. If you want to read them, they're on coffeebreakup.com. You can check it out, download it. It's free. Literally, it's a couple of pages. It's very concentrated, but easy to read.
Yeah. We have a link in our bio if you kind of want to explore a little bit more about of the full keys that we've kind of wrote about. Again, all foundational topics and key points for you to just maximize your potential to be the best person that you're destined to be, and ultimately to find that right partner that fits the person that you have all the potential to become. So yeah, head over to the link in our bio. Make sure you download it. It's completely free and it's an easy read. Just like I said, it's just kind of key points, little reminders to kind of guide you into be the best person that you're destined to become. And we also have more resources there, a little bit more expansive. So again, head over to the link in our bio, download it for free right now, get everything. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us.
Send us a DM, the business page, Chris, myself, we're happy to help you guys out.
Absolutely.
No matter what you guys need.
Absolutely. So head over to the link one more time. We love y'all. Thank you so much for the support.
Ciao, guys.
Peace.